Who needs to win week 1 more, LSU or Clemson? We'll break it down right now. Before we do that, though, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We will have a full game preview and prediction for this game, as well as the rest of the slate week 1, as well as the rest of college football season all year long on this channel. Make sure you're locked in. We appreciate y'all being subscribed. So when I asked that question, who needs to win more, let's get this straight to start. The overreaction from both fan bases will be massive either way. Either way, like the Sunday after, it's going to be, I can't believe LSU dropped another one that's 6 in a row. Brian Kelly doesn't know what he's doing. He's the right guy. For Clemson, it's like you were thinking national championship and you lost your first game at the crib to LSU, who can't win an opener to save their life. What is wrong with Dabo Swinney? That whole portal thing actually now kind of seems messed up. Like that scene in Step Brothers, they roll in there with tuxedos and then it goes poorly. Some other context there I won't mention, but it goes poorly. Actually, you know what? The portal does seem kind of messed up. Actually, you know what? The tuxedos do seem kind of messed up. A couple of reasons for that, for both sides of this whole thing, why the overreaction will be massive. Both teams are saying to themselves, both fan bases saying to themselves, this is supposed to be the year. Clemson, number 1 in returning production. LSU brought back your quarterback, went to work in the transfer portal. We have picked you to win the national championship on this show. It's supposed to be the year, but if you can't win the opener, overreaction, it happens. It's life, it's sports, it's what we live with. I also think that we still, as a college football public, are transitioning out of like what old college football was on a week-to-week basis. I think there's a lot of us that are still conditioned to at least emotionally feel like if you lose one game, done, season's over. In the moment, I'm not saying that's actually how we think about it as the season progresses, but like one loss, especially a loss in a big game to start the year, would totally alter how you're viewed the rest of the year. You write the obituary. Now, what's reality? Reality is whoever loses this game can, and I think will, still make the college football playoff. But who does it mean more to? The Clemson side of this, I think, is all optics. Okay? It would be a very unsettling feeling with all the hype from this offseason, what I just said around number 1 returning production, your quarterback's back for a third year, all those things, and to drop your opener would just, again, feel kind of funny. But let's play this out a little bit further. Let's say that Clemson gets into a spot where the sky has fallen. The sky has fallen. Let's say you're 10-2. Let's say for whatever reason Clemson's in a spot where they aren't winning the ACC. And Clemson's on the outside looking in without an auto bid into the college football playoff, and we're going through the resume. Clemson, you want into the college football playoff? Let's see who you beat. Looking at these notes here, okay, lost to LSU, not great. Who'd you beat that I'm excited about? SMU? Maybe. And maybe. They made the playoff last year. Georgia Tech? Could be, but I wouldn't bank on it. Louisville? I don't know. You hope South Carolina's good. If it's a win over them, awesome. But like my point being, there's no team outside of LSU on Clemson's schedule that I think is going to be a college football playoff caliber team in 2025. And so you get to the end of the regular season and you're just like, I'd like to put you in here, but I don't see a win that puts you on the guest list right now, Clemson. So optically, if you're 10-2 and you don't win the ACC, if that math even tracks properly, the conversation around, well, the one college football playoff team you did play, they beat you at your place. Sorry, but I can't help you. Now, again, the reality is I'd be surprised if Clemson doesn't make the ACC title game. I'd be surprised if they don't win the ACC, but just think it's worth noting that part of it for Clemson is a little bit funny. I think also, quite frankly, Clemson is best equipped to handle a loss. And what I mean by that is with all the returning production Clemson has, we'll say it again, number 1 in America, a lot of adults on that roster. A lot of mature brains, a lot of fully developed brains on that roster, okay? So if you lose a game, it hurts, it sucks, but I think the continuity within that team, the chemistry within that team being what it is, you're able to handle it and process it a little bit better. Hey, that was tough. We still know who we are. We made the playoff at 9-3 last year. We're good. Does it suck? Absolutely, but we're good. Like, let's just steady this plan, get back on track, and let's go win the ACC. Let's win out and make the college football playoff. Could very much see that happening. I think this means more to LSU. I do. I think it means more to Brian Kelly. I think it means more to, quite frankly, the powers that be at that school based on how much work they put into their roster from the transfer portal level. LSU needs this on a number of levels, but I think most importantly, I think it's a psychological thing for LSU. Like, I think if you lose another opener, it's going to be very easy forget the fan base for a second, on an internal level for LSU to have here we go again. here we go again. Another opener lost, another hole we got to dig ourselves out of. And I'm not saying it's across the locker room. I'm not saying it would just be, poison the water in Baton Rouge. But I do think it at least opens you up to there being fragmentations, maybe a harsh word to use, but I think it could fit here for the situation if LSU does drop the first game. Because what I would love to have happen for LSU, if I'm in that locker room or at a fan base level, is you win the first one, and then you can very confidently and definitively say, this year is different. This year is different because we just did something we haven't done since we won a national championship here, which is win the opener against a good opponent. We're different this year because that result is different. You can point to that tangibly, and you can say everything we talked about in the offseason about us being a national title team and us doing this and us doing that, that's real. Look at that game. Because if you don't, the opposite can happen and say, we talked about this and that, and you start to second-guess yourself, start to second-guess all the hype that maybe you bought into. Just don't have that happen. Don't have that happen. Also, if you drop this game and you don't win the SEC, you still got to play Florida, South Carolina, A&M, Alabama. I'm pretty bullish on it on Oklahoma. Like, it doesn't set yourself up all that well to not lose more than 2 games in SEC play. At 9-3 in the college football playoff 12-team era, it seems to be the cutoff. So I don't think that's going to be how this whole thing goes for LSU. Again, I have them winning the national championship, so that tells you how I think this game's going to go. But with that being said, a loss, very easy for one loss to maybe turn into 2 with the lack of continuity LSU has on this roster with the new pieces. I'm just saying it's to me a little bit more flimsy, which makes it more important for LSU to solidify themselves, announce themselves, gain some confidence, and win the opener against Clemson to gain some confidence and gain some momentum and gain some belief validate some belief, maybe is a better way to say it, for Tigers in Baton Rouge. So who does it mean more to? It means more to LSU week 1 against Clemson.